Be on the focus ring and just set it. A curve cushion.
If you ever wanted to know how professionals make those killer real estate videos, from the camera gear to camera settings and all the shots to get on site, then stick around because I'm gonna go over all of it in this video. I'm even gonna timestamp it so that if you already know how to do one thing or another, you can just skip around if you want. But if you're just starting out, I highly recommend watching the whole video so that you can learn everything you need to start creating. So let's go.
First things first, we're gonna talk about all the gear that we need for this shoot. I'm gonna give you a quick hint. We're not gonna be using all of these lenses. I'm only gonna use 2 lenses and I'll tell you exactly why. But first up, we have the Mavic 3 Pro, and then we have a 50mm 1.4 lens. I have the Laowa 12mm 2.8 lens. I have a Sony original G Master 24-70 lens, and also G Master 16-35 lens. 2 of these lenses I'm not gonna use for this shoot. Can you guess which ones they are? 50mm, not gonna use it. And I'm also not going to use the 16-35 lens. I'm gonna tell you why. I found that for my detail shots, I prefer to go with my 24-70 lens. Yes, the bokeh is not quite as nice. However, I like having the option to be able to zoom in on my shot if I needed to. The 51.4 is gonna be amazing for agent on camera, but I'm not doing that today. So I find that the 24-70 is a better fit for me. It gives me options. I can do mid perspective and detail shots at the same time. And even though it's a 2.8 lens, I still feel like I'm getting all the bokeh that I could use, and it just gives me more options with this lens. Second lens I'm not gonna use is a 16-35 lens. I just don't have the need for it. I'm gonna use the 12mm for all my wide shots, and then my 24-70 for all my detail shots and mid perspectives if I'm gonna get them. That's it, that's all I need. Camera, Sony a7S III. Just a quick tip, guys. I mean, if you're just getting started, I wouldn't get this camera and I wouldn't get this drone. I'd probably get an Air 3S if I had to do it over again, because it's a lot cheaper and you can get very good results with that camera as well. Or with that drone. You can get great quality stuff without having to spend all this money. Lastly, my gimbal, I'm using the DJI RS5. I just upgraded to this because my RS3 was, the motors seemed like they were struggling. So it was time to pull the trigger and get something new. I love this gimbal because it has these fine tuning adjustments. And this is a total game changer. I just love it. The other thing I like about this, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but honestly, it does help a lot. When you got your hands full, doing something like this, being able to open it real quickly with one hand and put this down is amazing. It saves a little bit of time, and anytime you can save a little bit of time, 10 times in a shoot, it adds up. So let's get started.
Let's talk about camera setting for a second. So I shoot in color profile S Cinetone. I also shoot at 4K at 120 frames a second. A lot of people don't like to shoot at 120. A lot of people will shoot at 60 frames a second. I just like shooting at 120 because you can do things like slow down fire in the fireplace or waterfalls in a pool. But some people will say that 60 frames per second is totally good enough. And honestly, it probably is. So you just have to shoot whatever you think is right for your workflow. Moving on to shutter speed. Shutter speed is gonna be double your frame rate. So for me, it's 1/250th. Aperture is going to be adjusted per the shot. So outside, I'm probably gonna be somewhere around f16 to f22. For interior shots, maybe f2.8 to f4. And then my ISO, I set that to auto sometimes, not all the time. If I'm walking from room to room and the exposure is going to be different from room to room, then I like to set it to auto because then the camera will adjust the exposure for me. When I don't like to use autos, when I'm doing things like revealing or something like that. So if you put the camera behind a wall and then reveal something that's elsewhere in the room, the exposure will change on you if you're having an auto, and it might jump up or it might jump down, and that makes for not so good footage. If you do use auto, make sure you use it sparingly, only for the shots that you need it.
All right, let's go get our first front of house shot. And one thing I forgot to mention is that I like to keep my exposure at plus 0.3. I find that at 0, it's a little bit too dark for my taste. Plus 0.7, you start to get a little bit too bright, but sometimes it works okay. Plus 0.3 gives me enough room on both sides where I'm not completely blowing out the windows, and I'm also not making it too dark. So let's get our first shot. So on the Laowa lens, I just set it to 3 on the focus ring and just set it and forget it. It's a manual lens and that works perfectly. So lining up my first shot, and I do have my ISO in auto because I know the exposure is going to be different once we get closer to the house. And I have my aperture at f/16 and everything's looking good. So I'm just going to do a straight push in right toward the house. I'm going to be walking up those stairs a little bit. So if I raise my camera up a little bit higher, once I start going up those stairs, I'm going to start dropping it down just a little bit so I can try to keep a straight path all the way through. All right, in my first interior shot, I want to find the longest run that I can into the grandest room of the house. And you know, it's probably gonna be one of these two rooms, either the living room or the kitchen. Living room feels like it should be the first shot of the house. I'm gonna change my aperture to f/4. And that will make my ISO around 400. And I'm gonna take it out of auto, set it to 500, and just do a straight push in. Perfect. We just want to get as long of a run as possible. So I'm going to go over to here where I would frame it up and set my exposure. Come all the way back here. I may not use all this footage, but at least I have it if I want it. And for this one, I'm going to do a curved push in. Cool. And then maybe another wide shot in here, a slider shot. And actually, now that I'm looking at this now, that could be my third shot of the living room. I can do a slider shot here as well. But I actually think, I'm just gonna grab this, but I think what I'm gonna end up doing is getting a longer shot of that. And that's all I really need for this room. I'm gonna get this shot, even though I'm not super excited about this dining room. Moving on here, just a straight push in. And for here, I think what I'm gonna do is just a curve reveal. Sometimes I actually like to angle the camera down just slightly, just gives it more of like an interesting look. So basically I'm gonna curve around, I'm just gonna push in this way and twist my wrist to the right. So push in and twist my wrist like that. All right, set my settings here. Actually, I think I'm gonna go to auto because I'm gonna start out here and I'm gonna do a long walk in here. So this is gonna be a curved push in, and instead of walking straight and then turning at the end, what you wanna do is you actually want to be curving and arcing the entire time so you can get a nice smooth arc all the way around. So if you wanna speed ramp it, you can. Perfect. And I think I'm gonna do like a reveal shot here where I just kind of go like down here and go up like this, but that's gonna require me to do like a sumo squat. Here we go. This is why you gotta spend some time at the gym. All right, I think for this one, I'm going to angle it up like this and get down low and just kind of pan in, orbit in, and turn my wrist at the same time. Getting low again and just turning and coming in. And I'm also pushing in at the same time. Like that. And one shot going in here. Easy, straight push in. Cool. I don't want to overcomplicate it. Straight push in. Okay. And that's everything upstairs. I have right here. I'm gonna start from inside the closet. I feel like this makes it even look way bigger. So I'm back all the way up and go straight. Cool. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm definitely gonna get a detail shot of that. And then maybe to show context, I'm gonna get another wide shot here. Just a side to side movement. I'll have to cut where I see myself in the mirror. I mean, I guess I could open those doors, but it's fine. All right, so I'm gonna grab this shot, and I think I'm gonna do the same thing that I did in the other bathroom, which is to crouch down and kind of go up. It's basically like a slider shot, but I'm also slowly elevating the camera as I go up. And I have to stay at the same height, or else I'm gonna get in the mirror there. The only problem with this is I'm not showing everything over here. So I'm gonna get a second shot going this way. I can just do one shot from here. So I don't need to come from the doorway, just come from here, and it will just take care of all of that. Just doing a twisting in. I'm twisting my hands as I walk in. Just like that. And so that's it for all of the interior wide shots. So we're gonna head out to the backyard. So I'm definitely gonna use auto ISO for this shot because I'm gonna start inside here, and the exposure in here is a lot darker than it is out there. So I am going to change my aperture to f16. I'm just gonna come out here and make sure that f16 bringing the exposure down enough. So I think that's good. And just do a straight pushing going out. All right, cool. And I actually don't grab too many wide shots when I go outside, believe it or not. You can usually get away with 1 to 2 wide shots and leave the rest for mid perspective and detail shots. So like over there, I don't feel like I need a wide shot. I mean, I guess I could get 1 wide shot going this way. So I can get the chairs, this whole seating area with the barbecue. Seems like it would make sense for a wide shot. And I'm just gonna do an arced curve going into the shot. Perfect. I'm gonna get 1 more wide shot of the back of the house. Yeah, this is cool. I got a nice straight line here, and I'll end up using this to do a reverse pull away into the last drone shot. Perfect. And that is all of our wide shots. I'm gonna change my lens and get started on detail shots. So I've got my 24 to 70 millimeter on now, and I'm gonna be shooting at f2.8. For the most part, I'm taking my ISO out of auto. I'm gonna set it for each individual shot and find all the shots that might work to put a good sequence together. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a shot of that plant. I'm gonna use the couch as a foreground element, and I'm just gonna rock back and forth. I'm also gonna try to keep the plant in the middle of the frame, and I'm also going to pitch my camera up as I'm doing the movement. So something like that. I might do it a couple times just to make sure I got it. Cool. And now I want to get this fireplace. I'm probably going to have to zoom all the way out on this one to 24. And I'm probably going to have to overexpose the windows just a little bit, just so I can try to get my fireplace close to where I want it. I will probably end up bringing it up some in post. And for this shot, I'm just going to do a slider shot side to side. Now I'm looking at my camera to make sure my camera is completely lined up straight. And if it's completely lined up straight, that means my horizontals should be pretty good and my verticals are good too. Now I'm gonna get maybe these chairs. I'm gonna zoom back in, maybe 50, somewhere around there. Change my ISO. Trying to get all 4 of them right in the middle of my frame. Okay, and maybe one of the kitchen sink. Might zoom in even more on that one. Boom, perfect. If you see a shot and you get it right, you don't have to waste your time on continuing to try to get the shot. I think we're done with downstairs. Let's go upstairs. Definitely want to get this. I'm gonna use this as my area to reveal from, which is really, really great. And here we go. Cool. Cool. And then I might even get an extra shot just close up of the wine bottles. Perfect. And then a shot of the faucet. I don't know if I'm in focus here. There we go. Okay. Upstairs is done. I don't need to come back. All right. So I like this. Now I really should be using an ND filter for this. And I'm sure there's gonna be someone out there who's gonna tell me my shots look horrible because I'm not using an ND filter, but you be the judge and you can see by the final video. Cool. So that looks dope. That would be really cool for a 1-point perspective. Let's see, let's try 50 millimeters. Trying to keep it as straight as possible. All right. And then one more shot. Yeah, that's cool. I might actually do one a little bit wider and a little bit closer to make it feel a little bit larger than life, but I don't know which one I'll end up using. Okay. All right, so that's it. That's all my shots that I'm gonna get for this property. Now, I'm gonna show you what the final edit looks like, but before I do, I wanna mention that I have some resources available, including a free video shot list guide and a lot of other resources over at thephotography.lab.net. All the links are down below, and I really appreciate you watching this video, and now here is the final edit.